All right, everybody, we are back. Can you believe it? Look, he's speechless. He's speechless.
He caught me off guard.
Hey, welcome back to the next episode of the Virginia Carolina Deer Tracts podcast. I am Mike Davis.
I'm Shawn Mills.
Yeah, he spoke that time. That is still my guy. And today we are celebrating Shawn because Shawn got it done, baby. He got it done.
Yeah, I did. I had a good season. Didn't get to go hunting as much, but I made it count when I went. I got lucky.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. I don't know how much luck it is to it, but before we get into those details, I just want to take a minute to talk about our big buck contest that we got going on right now.
Yes, sir.
We are right in the middle of it, and man, we are very thankful of the folks that are stepping up and sharing their buck pictures with us. Our whole focus of this show is to talk about our area, Southside Virginia
And big deer.
and upper North Carolina, this area around us and the deer, because we know we got great deer.
It's showing up.
We got great hunting.
Yeah.
And, not taking anything away from those giants out Midwest. They got what they got.
We are highly underestimated.
We are. Nobody talks about us, and daggone it, we want to talk about us.
That's it.
So, man, you guys are doing it. Y'all are putting some fantastic bucks on the ground, and we really are enjoying sharing that with everyone, and everyone sharing it with us, and we're giving away lots of cool prizes and stuff. So be sure to go on our Facebook page and check out all the pictures that we're sharing. If you've got one, and hey,
Send it in.
send it in.
Got some great prizes.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it costs $0.
That's right.
$0. So that's my plug about that. You got anything you want to add about that?
I'm just enjoying it, man. When the phone goes off, just seeing, like you say, it's a wow factor when you see these deer coming through. I mean, it's been some giants.
I like hearing this. I like hearing the story too.
Yeah.
All the little details about how they've been hunting this deer for a couple of years, or one lady had it on camera 4 miles away at a friend's place. So, man, those were some really cool stories. I enjoy that almost as much as the pictures. Not quite as much.
That's right.
All right. With that being said, we're not going to quite jump in to your story. I do want to back up a little bit. A few episodes ago, we had one called Ground Zero.
Yes, sir.
Episode 19, I think it was. And the main point of that whole conversation, we were talking about what do you do when you have a brand new piece of raw land. And, Shawn, it was really Shawn's idea to come up with this because he was in the process of I can't remember if you'd already closed on it yet or not, but you just purchased.
Yeah,
just purchased.
This was this year. It was right around March.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was right there before turkey season.
And what we 30 some acres.
33 acres.
So maybe a medium sized tract, not some 100 and 200 acre tract.
That goes back to what we talk about, where we say it a lot. There's 20-acre tracts out there I'd rather have than a 200, just because of the layout, the access, the genetics. It's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah,
you don't
it really
have to
is.
have 100 acres.
So
Love to have 100, but
well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. But go back and check out that episode. But this kind of all ties back into that.
Yeah.
Because the techniques and the tips or the thought processes that we spoke about in that episode really paid off here.
When you go into ground zero like that, we obviously, the only thing you can know about the farming, I'll just condense the thing of what we talked about was checking with the neighbors. Well, we knew that. We knew the genetics were there. Next thing is just boots on the ground, seeing rubs, putting the cameras out. Well, on this particular one, another advantage of it being the size it was is I pretty much covered it like NASA with cameras. I mean, if a deer so much as parted on that land, I think I knew about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I have audio too. So.
I didn't realize the technology had come quite that far.
So we were very, very happy with what we were having show up on camera. I mean, we named them quick. I think you actually named a couple of them too, from Mr. Krabs to Big Ten.
Did I name Mr.
Big Ten
Krabs?
Twin. Yeah, it was. I think it was that one, but
I don't know. I can't remember. So
that's a good one.
All right. So you bought it back in March. Put the cameras out about when? Do you think?
The cameras went out right there in May, right there at the end of turkey season.
and your bachelor group with Mr. Krabs and Big Ten and several others. When did they first hit?
First started really seeing them in June. I say them, actually the one where they really started showing up and I could tell that this was their home place would have been July. And when I say that, I was getting photos of them on every camera throughout the day. And I mean, it was definitely, which makes you nervous about going into the property too much because, I mean, they're there. I mean, it was, what do you do with that? And we talked about food plots.
Right.
And I'm still learning the pattern of where these deer are coming from and everything. And we really, it's mostly all timber. There's no open land hardly all except for the pond.
Right.
And so trying to figure out before you go in there cutting trees down, is this where I want the food plot? Because like you said earlier, you can't go in there and just replant. I mean, we got established hardwoods there.
Yeah, I will say, you were very gung-ho at first.
Yes, I'm a food plot fanatic.
You had some very specific ideas that you wanted to execute, and you really wanted to do it this summer.
Yes, sir.
And, I think time got away from you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a blessing in disguise because, I think once you had a little time to, once hunting season kicked in,
yeah,
and the pattern changed,
yeah,
I think it gave you some time to reflect and really start putting into some thought about really maybe these aren't the best spots. Maybe let's think about some other spots. And let's take this year.
My key spot, I completely changed my mind about.
Right.
My key spot for a food plot, not the same now. And so it's.
So you'll hear on all of these various hunting podcasts and hunting shows, the word patience is thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Because I think here the end result speaks for itself. But like Shawn mentioned, once you start going in, especially a tract that is all timbered, you start cutting those trees down and put a plot in, then you hunt that season and realize maybe your plot should have been over here or done a little bit differently. Well, you can't go put those trees back up. So
That's right.
I think taking that, that one season to get to know the property and how it hunts, how the animals, how they travel, whatever their pattern is, I think that was a good move.
And I mean, food plots, it's going to pull. It'll pull deer. You can put one in a place that doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying that deer won't come to it, but there is definitely a travel pattern to these deer. And I mean, the best way to do that is work with that travel pattern instead of trying to change that travel pattern, if possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would argue that deer and most animals are really like us in the sense that, we're going to take the path of least resistance when we can. Why lift 50 pounds if I could lift 5?
Yeah.
That kind of mentality. So I think when it comes to travel corridors, which, if you can make it work, like you said, with the corridors and the patterns they're already using, why wouldn't you?
That's right. And I mean, even like I take this one that's on the backside of right there at the field. I actually want to where I know that's a natural travel pattern. However, I love switchgrass. That's something that's not talked about near enough that already I'm definitely planning to do about 30 yard wide switchgrass right there. And I mean, I think that's stuff like that where I didn't plan that before, but I want to make them even more comfortable.
Now, what are you, I've heard switchgrass used for a couple of different things, mostly like as a buffer, the screen
right there,
kind of things,
access,
so many transition area, that kind of stuff. Is that kind of what you got in mind?
Yeah, on that one, I'm actually going to just use it for that. Where they're traveling, they are traveling the roadbed right now, and so it's to the point where when hunting season came in, they quit running that roadbed. I noticed that they're still traveling the property, but they completely changed their travel pattern during season, and it is very open there. And so, switchgrass, well, I mean, it's very easy to go through, but at the same time, it just gives them that sense of comfort.
Yeah.
So it's and you most often do see it at the edge of food plots to just make them feel that little extra comfort.
Yeah, no, I'm a believer. One of my first clients, as a matter of fact, I won't spit their name, but they had laid out a property and set it up very well, and they used switchgrass. mainly as a shield to hide them
Yep.
as their entrance and exit to their stand. And I thought that was just genius, absolute
Yes,
genius. It was really neat. So looking forward to seeing what you're doing with that.
Well, you're gonna help me. You're gonna get the first hand. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm the cheap labor. I help hang the stands and do all the stuff. That's all right.
I named a stand after you. I call it the mic stand.
must be a short one.
It's got short steps.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was coming. That's why I beat him to the punch. Try to take the vinegar right out of it.
I gotta say though, it's a Millennium stand, man. And I mean, this is a big stand. I gotta ask. I mean, do your feet swing when you sit in it, or do you? I'll stop.
Yeah. Don't make me beat you up on video. I don't need any evidence. We're gonna pause it and come back with bloody lips and black eyes. All right. So it didn't take long once those summer picks kicked in for you to really narrow down really two.
Yeah.
Two bucks.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs and Big Ten. And we had so many conversations from July up until even into bow season about which one you would rather have and why. And you were kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I don't think you would have complained about either one of them.
No. And I look back at it. I felt like Mr. Krabs at first was a dominant buck, but even got them where they locked up antlers a little bit in one of my videos. And I look back though, and I had literally in my gallery over 300 photos of Big Ten. Mr. Krabs was right around the 190 mark. And I know, I mean, just where I had those cameras, he was predominantly on that property. And he did slip off during hunting season. I say not as often, but when he came back in the picture, I knew it was time to go in there. I mean, it was all about timing on that.
You know, one of the things that I really love about game cameras, obviously taking the inventory and seeing those bucks is very exciting. But, when you get those bucks that get you excited and you start texting them, sending that picture to your friends, look at this one. Oh, I got this one last night. We just do this all year long, and it's great.
Yeah.
Wake up and look at that. Oh my gosh. And
the great thing about our job is we got plenty of properties to do it with.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So, Big Ten, I think really I think Mr. Krabs started as your number one.
Yeah.
But I don't think it took long for Big Ten to really take over.
He had a side view that came in and I knew right away. He was mass. I mean, it was substantial.
Yeah. I mean, we went to Realtree. I don't remember what episode that is, 2021. We talk about that, but when we met Bill Jordan and we're all sitting around talking, Shawn couldn't help it.
I
Shawn
wanted to see what the Godfather thought. I can't help it.
Hey, so Shawn showed him a picture of Big Ten. What do you say, Shawn?
He said, "That's a nice buck," and he grabbed my phone and he was like, "That's in Virginia." Yep.
Exactly. Our point exactly. Yes, it's in Virginia.
Yeah.
We got him. We got him. So awesome. So with all that in mind, let's you want to jump right into the hunt?
All right. Yeah, we can do it. Well, I already said as far as that goes, I didn't have as many photos on a regular basis, and all of a sudden he showed back up on the farm, and it was all within a 24-hour period where I was getting a lot of photos of them. So that morning I took off. I was planning on getting to the stand between 30 to 45 minutes before shooting light. And I did have deer already in the area showing up that were there when I got there. And so I sit back and I had to make a decision. I wanted to wait till shooting light because this is during muzzleloader season. And I have done this several times. A good friend of mine that I look up to, I won't name drop him, but yeah, he's killed a lot of big deer. And this is one of his strategies, and it's paid off for me. So I waited till shooting light, and I eased my way in there because this is the type of stand, as you know, I got a good road going to it. I felt comfortable doing that, and if I would have happened to see some before, I'd have shot right there from the ground. When I got there to the area, I could still see a doe. It was easing off to that backfield. As soon as she did, got in the stand. This would have been around. I left at 6:19. I want to say about 6:35. At 6:45, a small buck came through. 6:58, Big Ten shows up. But I knew it was him as soon as I saw him. I didn't waste any time. Put the scope on him, pull the trigger, click.
Click. What happened?
Cap did not go off.
Oh.
So, and he doesn't have a clue still, thank God. But I always keep a cap right there. It's a little place in my front pocket. Put another cap in it. By this time, he's eased his way down the roadbed a little ways, and he's kind of coming towards me at an angle, but going towards his bottom behind me. So I put it right there on his shoulder, pulled the trigger in, felt great about it, didn't have the shakes or anything. I mean, I surprised myself, I will say that. But felt good about that shot. When the smoke cleared, he was running. He wasn't running like a scalded dog or anything, but he was running. Gave enough time, and I say gave enough time, I actually had to leave the stand, go back to the pond, back to where I parked, because I just could not stand it. I wanted to go, I didn't want to mess anything up, but I knew I needed to walk away for a minute. And then I made some phone calls.
Now, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to back you up a second. On your second shot,
yeah.
Was there a delayed fire on the second shot?
No delayed fire on the second shot.
Oh, okay, okay.
The first shot didn't go off at all. Second shot was not a delay, but when the smoke, after the smoke finished clearing, I didn't know what kind of shot I made. I mean, on that at that point. I mean, I felt good, but I wasn't positive.
Okay, all right, good. For some reason, I thought you had said it was a delayed fire on the second shot. You know, there's actually been several stories. Been several stories just here around the office about dry fire and delay fire, and you know, that just I don't black powder hunt.
That's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, you know, I usually still bow. Well, not usually. I do. I bow hunt all the way through muzzleload season, and I've been very tempted, especially this year. You know, this has been a tougher year for me hunting wise. So I've been very tempted to say, you know what, I need to just. I mean, there's nothing wrong with muzzleloading. I don't have anything against it. I just enjoy bow hunting.
Yeah.
And you know, but I hear those stories about the dry fire and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
That's the thing. That's another thing. Gosh, I love bow hunting. I would much rather get one with a bow anytime, but this particular one's a good. I mean, as far as where his travel pattern was going, I never would have had a shot. I mean, it was between, I say that 75, 65 yards. I mean, it was just always that would never been a shot from right there.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. There's been several of shooter bucks over the years that, you know, that I would have had a shot on.
I want to hunt your backyard. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, so you went back, you stepped away, which was a smart move, again, and started making some phone calls. Who'd you call first?
I called Mike first. My wife actually tracked that back, got a little upset at me. She's like, "You called him?" It's like, yeah, I called Mike first.
You know, but I think there was a part of you that, because my phone started ringing, and before I could answer, the call was gone. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty early. It was like
guilty.
It was like 7 o'clock. Yeah. So I was like, Shawn must have pocket dialed me or something, you know. And I think I even texted you, and I was like, pocket dial or something, you know. But when I saw the phone ring, you know, I always had that like, we got news. So I wasn't sure, but you know.
Yeah, that's true. And then after that happened, I went back and went back to look for blood, and I found 0 blood, literally like 3 white hairs on a leaf. I didn't go far though. I mean, I say that I probably went within 50 yards, 40 yards, probably 40 of where I thought I shot, and just not a sign of blood. And I just had to keep going back. I know I felt good on that shot. So I went back to the house, shot my muzzleloader on purpose off of there, and I literally set it up at 65 yards. Drilled the bullseye. I don't think I've ever shot a dead on. I said, well, let me try it again. So I shot it with the 35. Still hit the net. So everything about me was saying I hit that deer.
Yeah, so you actually did call me after that. And, you know, one of the things that is good about having a hunting buddy is that, you know, we can talk things through.
Yeah.
You know, I've called you in several situations over the years, like, here's what's going on, here's what I'm thinking, what do you think? You know, whether it's, a win strategy or,
That's right.
different things. And
Need reassurance on this stuff. I mean, we take it serious.
Yeah. So, Shawn called me and, I know what a good hunter Shawn is. And,
well, thank you.
of course, and like most of us, you don't see any blood, you don't see a deer, you really start second guessing yourself, and you really start questioning like everything.
Angle of the shot.
Especially after the dry fire, because a little bit of panic's got to be setting in,
exactly
whether you want to admit it or
not. I had
not.
to really look back, because that second shot, I'm like, I should have been more panicking than I was, but it's just that was not the case. I mean, but yeah.
So Shawn was like, I don't know, what do you think? Should we go in there and look and blah 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 and this, that, and the other? And and I told Shawn that. And I'm not taking, I'm not trying to take credit away from you at all. But again, just being that voice of reason in that moment, because there was another story Shawn had shared with me from a couple years ago where he thought he had missed a deer.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out he hadn't.
Yeah.
And that was a much farther shot.
Yes, that was Canada. That was 170 yards, 180 yards on that. That was rifle, but yeah.
But still, it was it's just such a similar situation. I was like, Shawn, what was the yardage? Whatever it was, 60, 70, 65?
60, 70 yards.
And Shawn just kept telling me that he felt good about the shot.
Yeah. And
I was like, look, dude, there's no doubt in my mind that is a dead deer.
Yep, that's exactly what you said. That deer is dead.
That deer's dead.
Yep.
Let's just go and put that on the, don't worry about it. Now it's just a question of where he's at. And I think you had already were on the fence about maybe calling in some help.
Oh yeah, I called David Rutledge. That is drone recovery. You got a deer like this, it means that much. It eliminates that whole question of it right there. And David said, let's give it to this afternoon. Check it out. Mike came out there. Well, off that point. Anyway, David goes to fly the drone up, and I am not exaggerating at all. He had that drone up for less than 5 minutes and looked right at me and said, there's your deer right there. Pointed at it, clicked it over the camera. Sure enough.
There it was.
It was, when I look back at it, it went about 60 yards from where I shot it, I think. Somewhere around there. It didn't go far at all.
Yeah, it didn't go far, but I will say this. It did not go the direction we thought it was going to head.
No, it did not.
So, do I think that we had a chance to find that deer?
Yes.
Even without a blood trail? Sure I do.
But it would have really been depressing though, because we would have definitely went the wrong direction.
We would have spent a lot of time going the wrong direction. Yeah. And another part of that thought process that Shawn and I talked through as well was like, okay, worst case scenario, you didn't hit him, or we don't find him. Yeah. Do we really want to spend the day blowing the woods up?
That's right.
Just running through, hollering at each other like, hey, whatever, spreading our scent everywhere, tracking up everything. So I think in that situation, again, you made the right decision.
That's right. And David said I could, at this point, but when your price range on this stuff like this, when you're looking at $250, like $300 some places, but depending on what it is, but well worth the money. Well, then Mike shows up. He'd already located, like I said, what did I tell you, Mike? You remember what I told you?
Oh, yeah. I got there and I thought they were getting ready to get started. I thought I'd gotten there just in time. And Shawn's like, yeah, we already seen him. He's running off in another direction or running across the neighbor's farm or something like that. So, typical Shawn. I don't know why I'm friends with this guy. I swear, I really don't know why I'm friends with you.
He bit hook, line, and sinker too. That was.
I should have thrown you in the pond. Should have just thrown you right in the pond. But they had already found it by the time.
David even wanted. He doesn't normally do that, but he wanted to go with us to see this one.
Yeah, so we hopped in the side by side, and it was a short drag, brother.
Yeah.
My favorite kind.
Yeah, that moment, everybody knows that when you first lay eyes on that, it's never going to change. That's why we do it, man.
Yeah. And thermal drones are a wonderful tool.
Yes, sir.
I will just say.
Oh man, any question at all ever? Calling in him.
Yeah. And I understand that that not everybody out there can afford that option.
Yeah.
If you can, by all means, do it.
Yes.
It can save you a lot of heartache and a lot of time and effort. And you know, in this situation, if we hadn't have found it, the property wasn't boogered up.
That's right.
You know, we could turn around and hunt it tomorrow, and nobody would have been the wiser.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that deer may have been a little wiser, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it was a you made a lot of good decisions that day.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate all your help on that. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean, it was Mike, he's a lot stronger than him. I mean, he threw that deer back there. I'll let him do most of the work. I got a bad back. Anyway, appreciate that.
Yeah, Shawn said, "Yeah, I'm glad I got some strong friends coming to help me." And I'm like, "When are they getting here? What time are they coming?" No, but it was, you know, I'm so happy for you to be able to close the books on that one. I know, you know, since June, July, you've been excited about that deer. Been hunting him on, you know, your brand new property. You've been hunting him, hadn't been seeing much all through the season. I've even come in and hunted with you a couple times out there, and you know, we weren't, you know, a couple times. I can't remember if it was him or Mr. Krabs showed up on camera like 15 minutes after we walked out of there.
It was Mr. Krabs that time. Yep.
Yeah, so you know, it's been a real cat and mouse game, very frustrating. You know, it felt like the bucks had pretty much gone nocturnal, whether it's due to hunting pressure or, you know, just they were changing patterns and, you know, all those different
all this
things.
being said, I am a food plot fanatic. When I say I believe in food plots, I believe them to the level where I just said it was a hard year for me to start out knowing that I didn't have that. And like, I look at your property. I mean, as far as that goes, Ronnie's property.
Mr. Lindhart.
Mr. Lindhart's. But really, I mean, as far as the food plots, now this year you had, as far as that goes, you already had your clover coming back up, you know, from your previous plan, but you didn't put anything new in the ground this year.
No, it just didn't.
I mean, time again, we've been busy this year.
Yeah, the time wise, and it just a lot of different variables in place, especially with Ronnie farming full time.
Yes,
you know, this stuff kind of takes a back seat to his main focus, and I certainly understand that.
Yes, sir.
So we didn't, you know, the food plots were still there. You know, last year we planted oats and clover, mostly oats, and the clover was coming back really, really strong.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was some other junk and trash that had popped up too. Have the deer still been using it? Yes. Were they using it like they were last year? No. You culminate that with the fact that last year we also didn't have a lot of acorns.
That's right.
This year the acorns seem to be in plentiful supply, so it was a lot of different variables at play that have made this year a little tougher for me to I've seen deer, seen deer all the time, but as far as what I was after, just haven't had the luck yet. And
this can be a whole nother podcast, obviously, but it is interesting to me about the people we've talked to this year through sending in pictures of people we know and talking about. My big question always is did you kill it in the food plot? Did you kill it in the woods? What's the story? Was it dogs? It's a lot of food plot. I mean, food plot has definitely been. I'm just noticing that one, but it's.
Well, you know, when it's time to eat lunch, I mean, let's look at it this way. Where do we go? We go where the food is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it really is that simple.
And mine wasn't killed over food plot, though. I will say that, but I'm ready to plant food plots already. It's
Well, you know, your property has a lot of the other elements in place.
Yeah.
You know, you got cover, you got water, you got a great timber stand that had mass production this year. So they were in the area.
Yep.
You know, they were already calling that place home.
That's right.
So I think the food plots are going to only enhance that and give them a reason to stay.
Yes, sir. That's my hopes.
So that's it. So fantastic short story, Shawn. Make sure Shawn has posted a reel, I think, on our page, showing several pictures of that deer. So make sure you check that out. And congratulations again on a fantastic deer.
Thanks for all your help with it too. Because Mike was out there with me hanging stands, going through the.
Oh yeah. That stand you shot him from. Who picked that tree?
Oh.
I know a guy. I picked that tree.
Yes, sir.
So I get like 2% credit.
I'll give you a piece of tenderloin. I got you.
Hey, I'll take it. You heard it. He said it. You got to do it now. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the story. Again, don't forget to check out the contest and send us in those pictures. We really enjoy seeing everybody's success and meeting all the new folks and talking to them. So it's been great, and we still got about a month and a half to go. So we look forward to continuing that the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. And in turkey season, well, I actually got duck before that, but gotta get Mike into that. We'll see. I got some kids' wages I know will fit, so
See, I knew he was going there. That's why I just didn't even say anything. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
My good friend.
All right, try to get bugs on, Burry.
All right, we out.